Regenerating our world so that it becomes sustainable and resilient to unexpected shocks is the ultimate destination of our common journey. Although we will look at each of the four main pillars of sustainability separately, they are deeply interconnected and dependent on each other. Together, they combine in both virtuous circles, where thriving economies stimulate social development and cultural creativity, which in turn reinforce the vitality of the economy and its ability to reduce its environmental footprint. The reverse is also true, with declining economies transforming what previously was a positive-sum game, where all stakeholders could prosper simultaneously, into a zero-sum contest marked by fierce competition for scarce resources, communities feeling under threat and retrenching into themselves, closing off their cultural boundaries for fear of being submerged, and ignoring environmental concerns as secondary to sheer survival needs. Such vicious circles are particularly evident at moments of crisis, like the recent global financial meltdown. This has triggered in Europe in particular the rise of xenophobic, ultranationalist, anti-immigrant movements that have invaded the public arena and have destabilized traditional political systems both at national and European levels. The Tea Party movement in the US, with an agenda of intolerance and lack of regard for immigrants, minorities, the sick, and the less fortunate, is part of a similar trend in the US. On both sides of the Atlantic, inequality and poverty are growing, while tolerance and prosperity are dwindling. The only antidote to such developments is a realization that regeneration is a process we must first and foremost kickstart in ourselves, by refusing to retreat into our private lives behind the protective walls we create for ourselves and our immediate families. We must resolutely choose to engage with the critical challenges we face in common, in a spirit of openness, inclusion, and solidarity, and to develop innovative new solutions that go beyond traditional geographic and mental boundaries. Examining the ends side of the regeneration matrix will help us paint a quick outline of the world we want to live in. We will have to play four key roles: consumers in our economic networks, which function at the local level by connecting our immediate surroundings with the global marketplace; citizens in our social networks, capable of developing bridging social capital connecting all groups in our neighborhoods, cities, and regions; caretakers in our environmental networks, where protecting our natural ecosystem is a planetary endeavor; and creators in our cultural networks, allowing bonding social capital to strengthen the identities of the unique cultural groups that now inhabit not only specific homelands, but can span the entire globe. The roles we play in these four different networks have variable spatial geographies, that is, environments that combine territory and membership in different ways. They will therefore require new types of institutions capable of allowing us as consumers, citizens, caretakers, and creators to achieve and maintain our goals in effective and legitimate ways. From this brief analysis emerge four fundamental values, one for each pillar of sustainability, that constitute the key requirements of a sustainable, resilient world: innovation, inclusion, preservation, and diversity. The challenges we face in each of these fields are being discussed and debated on a daily basis in academic, news media, and political circles all around us. As Richard Florida explained, creating a knowledge economy requires not only accessible, high-quality education, but also a strategy designed to ensure that the widening inequality gap between the highly skilled creative class and the volatile group of low-wage earners does not continue to widen. And this not only in our own countries, but across the world as a whole. To strengthen the bonds connecting our various social groups means giving a new impetus to the notion of social entrepreneurship, where social enterprises such as those championed by Muhammad Yunus focus on a triple bottom line of people, planet, and profits, and where corporate social citizenship is a baseline behavior, not just something we pay lip service to. All this will make little difference unless we manage the transition to what Thomas Friedman calls the energy climate era, designed to protect our natural world and reduce our environmental footprint. This means global use of renewable clean energy, development of smart infrastructures capable of maximizing the efficiency of our energy use and minimizing its costs, and implementation of the green technologies that will be accessible and affordable worldwide. Finally, in the cultural sphere, we must continue the non-violent but relentless struggle of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. towards a future where identity and difference are twin sides of the same reality, where borders between different groups can be bridged without endangering their unique vitality, where cultural recognition goes hand in hand with mutual respect, where human rights and human dignity are the entitlement of us all and not the privileges of just a few. Innovation, inclusion, preservation, and diversity. We all accept these truths instinctively, yet all too often we ignore them and do little or nothing to promote them. And so we just go on walking blindly towards the edge of the cliff, beyond which opens up the abyss of catagenesis. As José Saramago wrote in his novel Blindness, there is no such thing as blindness, only blind people, when the experience of time has taught us nothing other that there are no blind people, but only blindness. Blind people who can see, but do not see. It is high time for us all to open wide our eyes, to see and act. There are 4 steps we all must take together to bring about a sustainable, resilient world to live in and bequeath to future generations. First, in order to foster cultural diversity, we must elaborate a cultural compact, both locally and globally. This cultural compact will spell out the rules of living together, in mutual respect of our differences, but also aware of the universal rights that we all share. How do we balance the 2 sides of this same coin in different geographical and human environments, requiring different rules of interaction, but based on the same underlying values and principles? The emerging global civil society we are now part of, and the exponentially developing real and virtual tools of social interaction at our disposal, make for the first time such a discussion possible and accessible to us all, wherever we may live. Second, to ensure environmental preservation, we must accelerate the green revolution. The ideas, books, reports, and plans are all out there. Our business and political leaders are aware of them, yet they do little to move towards this goal, afraid that others would game the system to their advantage, or worried they may lose their own privileges, position, and power. If they refuse to change, we must change them, either at the ballot box, or through our spending patterns, or by the use of social media and social activism tools now at our disposal across the globe. Clean energy sources, high-tech smart infrastructure systems, a green economy, and environmentally friendly living habits. The urgency of adopting such a lifestyle now and throughout the world must always be present in our minds, every single day. Third, social inclusion can only be achieved by promoting an entrepreneurial society, where cooperation and competition go hand in hand with creative innovation and inspirational leadership. We must not sit back and expect such creativity and leadership to come from others and motivate us into action, for we all are the leaders we are looking for. The entrepreneurial society is a world where each of us, individually and as members of the various social networks we belong to, work together as social entrepreneurs to deepen the ties of trust and solidarity that unite us across our differences and allow us to build a more prosperous, more peaceful, more resilient world. Finally, to maintain economic innovation, the basic foundation for a peaceful and prosperous world, we must enable the knowledge economy. As Stephen Murgatroyd, a British-Canadian education entrepreneur, has rightly argued, Lifelong learning is no longer the slogan of a small group of continuing education specialists. It is what the knowledge economy demands. Accessible, flexible, innovative, high quality and affordable means of allowing individuals to engage in lifelong learning as both consumers and creators in a dynamic environment, encouraging sharing and benchmarking, creativity and innovation, not only in the developed world but across the globe. This is the path to a future global knowledge economy that will benefit us all, no matter where we might live or what social group we may belong to. How these four general principles will be translated into action and implemented is not something that can be prescribed by any one person, organization, or political party. They must emerge from our common and ongoing deliberations and actions in our communities, cities, nations, and throughout the world.